Sir, good evening, sir. You are muted. Unmute.
Yes, please. Unmuted. Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening. Good evening.
Shall we start?
Yes, please.
Rubina.
Good evening, Alma.
Sister, good evening, sister.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, sister.
Good evening, sir. Okay.
Sir, sister, shall we start? It is 6:30 exactly.
Yes, Alma.
Yes.
Just 6:30. Okay. All
No.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. It is with great pleasure I welcome you all to the second day of the webinar series RISE-2025 conducted by IQAC Stella Matituna College of Education. We will embark on a journey of research, innovation, scientific and excellence, gaining valuable insights from distinguished experts in the field. To invoke the presence of the Almighty and set a serene tone for our gathering, let
Lord, the light of your love is shining in the midst of the darkness shining. Jesus, light of the world, shine upon us, set us free by the truth you now bring us. Shine on me, shine. Shine, Jesus, shine, fill this land the Father's glory, praise, Spirit, praise, set our hearts on.
Now, I invite Dr. Mrs. Sheba, IQAC Coordinator, Dean of Academics and Research, to give introduction about the resource person for this day. Ma'am, please.
Respected Secretary, Principal, and Sir, and all the participants, good evening to all. It's my privilege to introduce our distinguished speaker for today's webinar, Dr. A. John Lawrence, a highly respected academician in the field of education and research. Dr. John Lawrence serves as an Associate Professor in English at St. Xavier's College of Education, Palangote, bringing with him an extensive 24 years of experience in teaching, research, and academic mentorship. Throughout his illustrious career, he has made significant contributions to the field through his published articles and authored books, which continue to inspire students and scholars alike. Beyond his writing, Dr. Lawrence has played an active role in academic development by organizing and leading numerous seminars, creating platforms for critical discussions and knowledge exchange. His dedication to education, research, and literary excellence makes him a valuable resource and a guiding force in his field. We are honored to have him with us today, and we eagerly look forward to his insights and expertise. Please join us in extending a warm welcome to Dr. A. John Lawrence. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm welcome.
Shall I present?
For the session.
Yeah.
Sir, please.
Sir, you can start the session.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Is the screen shared?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good
Yes,
evening.
sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Reverend Sister Secretary, respected Principal and my dear well-wisher, Dr. Alma, and the organizers and my dear participants. I am very happy to welcome you all to this webinar, and I am going to present on the topic literature review, what, how, and why to look for. The topic is quite simple and it is an old topic, but still it has its own value and it has its own difficulties in doing the literature review in its real sense. So it is simple, at the same time it is the toughest task. I say it is a tough task and I say it is an easy task with valid, genuine rationale. With this introduction or preamble, let us begin. Now, what is meant by review of literature? The review of literature is commonly, in short, known as RRL. And what does it mean? It refers to the review of the existing literature. It is a survey. It is a survey. It is on the scholarly sources available on this topic. It is an overview of previously published works. Remember, you are not the first one to do a research on the topic, even if it is completely new. The base would have been already with someone else. Then, it is a section in a research paper. It discusses the relevant studies. It is an objective, concise, critical summary of published research relevant to the topic. So, if you look at all these definitions, you find one thing. When you are doing a research, it is not 100% new or it is not your own child. It is already done by someone else, either directly or indirectly. Okay. So, someone has already done it. Only from them you are building your research. Therefore, doing the review of literature, it becomes a must. Then, in research, there are two terms used. Number one, review of related literature, and number two, review of related studies. Both are used. Let me clarify what is the difference between review of related literature and review of related studies. The PowerPoint slide is self-explanatory. The term literature is very broad. It includes everything related to your topic of research. It could be a theory, it could be a concept, or it could be a research work. The sources could be from books, documents, reports, newspapers, or etc. That is literature. Literature is a very broad term. It includes everything and doesn't omit anything. If there is a material related to your literature, include it. It becomes a literature. Then, what about the term studies? The term studies is equal to research studies. Once again, repeat. The term studies refers to research studies. So, if your title is review of related studies, you are supposed to include only the research studies. So, you have to include only the research papers. You cannot include thematic papers. You cannot include documents. You cannot include the source from newspapers because they are not research. So, literature is a very broad term and studies is a narrow term. It is up to you to decide. It is up to the guide to decide whether would you like to have the topic in second chapter in your PhD thesis as review of later literature or review of later studies. Both are right. Both are allowed. It depends on the availability of the resources. If you feel only the research studies are available, then better to have the title of the second chapter, review of later studies. Imagine there are so many newspapers other than the research papers. Then make it broad and have the title as review of later literature. Good. Now, look, the term literature includes, as I have said, all the journals. Number one, journals could be either scholarly journals or peer-reviewed journals. There is a difference, but you can understand. Then, it includes the dissertations. Then, it includes the conference papers. Then, it includes, look, book, government documents, reports, newspaper, magazine, articles, etc. So, the term review of later literature includes 1 quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, and 4th quarter. Then, look at this slide. The review of related studies means it includes or limited to research studies. So, avoid other category of your related literature. Then coming back, what is the base or what is the need or what is the significance or why should we go for review of later literature? What is the loss if you don't do it? We shall ask the other way. What do you lose if you are not going through the review of later studies or literature? Please remember the timeline. Please look at the slide. I have presented the time continuum. Past, present, and future. The 3 times. In the past, there was research. In the present, there is research. In future also, there will be research. So, the present research of yours is related to either directly or indirectly with the past research. Then, in future, if someone else is doing in future, maybe after 10 years or after 5 years, their research would be either directly or indirectly related. So, it is a continuum. All on your research doesn't come in an vacuum. It is a continuum. So, this continuity should be maintained. Okay. This is known as technically background of the study. In research papers, when you are writing for the journals, in the introduction part, you have to give the background of the study. If you are not including the background of the study in the introduction part, you have to include it as a separate topic and give the site title as review of later studies or review of later literature in the next subheading. Then, look at why are we doing review of later literature? Let us be open. The reason is very simple, plain, nothing to hide. You want a degree. You want to do PhD, therefore you are doing review of later literature. That's all. That is the first reason. Then number 2, if you do a research, if you do at the MD level or MP level or PhD level, now you are expected to publish it. Publish a summary of your PhD research in the form of an article, and therefore you need to once again summarize the review of related literature. That is for number 2. Then the third reason is you have to write a review paper sometimes. Here, the point number 3, right, to write a review paper is related to publication. But there is a difference. When we refer that review paper is completely based on review. You have not conducted a survey. You have not conducted an experiment. You have not conducted case study. You have not conducted action research. Then what have you done? You have collected all the related studies, maybe 25 or 30 or 40. Based on that, you try to give the message what has been said in all the research on a particular topic. So the entire research paper is on the reviews only. Then at the UG level or at the PG level, we all have assignment for internal as a part of our course program. Of literature. Then, other than these 4 reasons, you have to or we have to do review for the reason that we must know what was done in the past. It is a basic need. Without knowing what was done in the past, if you do, what would happen? You would replicate, you would repeat, you would duplicate. If you duplicate, replicate, and if you repeat, there is nothing new in your research. Therefore, to make your research innovative, something that is contributing to the public, a original contribution of yours, you must avoid duplication, for which review of related studies or literature becomes a must. Then, the term research gap has become an important term in these days. Earlier, maybe 10 years, this term was rarely used. But at present, this term is commonly used, and every reader and every PhD adjudicator or all the guides ask you or expects you to include this topic. What is this? Research gap. So, what is a research gap? In research gap, a researcher X or Y is doing, but he is not able to do completely the related areas because of time limitation or because of some other limitation. He or that researcher is not able to do. It is mentioned in the conclusion part or in the limitation part at the end of the article. Okay, so from there you can identify. The researcher would use this term. It is recommended that further studies can be undertaken. I once again repeat, you will find this sentence. Wherever you find this phrase or a sentence, it is recommended that a future research could be undertaken. Dash, dash, dash. That is the research gap. Okay. Then you have to plan your research. You do not know. You are new to the field. So you do not know how to proceed. So to proceed, you should have an idea. For example, you want to go to Chennai. Then you have an idea. You can book a ticket. Then you can go to junction. Then you can get inside the train. Then you have to get down at Tambara. So you have an idea. So you are traveling. Similarly, even you are doing research, you must have an idea of it. Otherwise, you cannot proceed. So how to proceed? The idea you get from the previous research done. So you have to do review of literature. Then, other than that, it is needed for there are 3 levels in research. Number 1, doing research. Doing research refers to the scholar. Then number 2, publishing research. That is also referring to only the scholar or the author who is publishing that article based on the big research. Then guiding research. The guide also needs to know or needs to be well versed in review of literature. If the guide is well versed in review, then the guide can suggest new topics. The guide can identify or have it in mind the research gaps and suggest new topics, innovative topics. So for doing research, for publishing your research work, and for guiding research, you should have a complete idea of the review of literature in your particular area. Then, look, you can look at this picture. This is a plot. Imagine, they have given it for sale. You want to buy a single plot. What do? You choose the plot. Everything is plot. Imagine there are 100 plots. All of them are plots. Anyone can buy. You can buy or reject. How do you choose it? You have some criteria. Then finally you choose only one plot because you don't have money. You cannot buy all the 100 plots. Similarly, in the field of research, there may be a vast area that could be researched, but you cannot do it. You don't have time. You don't have energy. You don't have money. You are not an expert. Your guide is also not an expert, not an expert in all the fields. So you choose a single, small, narrow area that is untouched. If someone has bought that plot, then you are not supposed to buy. Similarly, if someone else has done a research on that particular area that you choose, then you should not redo it. Then, so it gives a strong foundation. Then based on that foundation, you build a big villa or a big house. So to identify the topic itself, to identify the area of a research itself, you need to do review of literature. Then the next valid reason is to select the research methodology. Once again, I repeat, to select what type of research would you like to employ in your research, you need to do RRL. Okay, so whether you would like to go for quantitative research or qualitative research or mixed method research or survey method or experimental method or case study or action research or comparative research, all these are different types of research. You can choose only one. So going through the RRL would give you what type of research you can undertake, what type of method you can employ. If you don't know this, you would be caught. Sometimes, imagine you are choosing a topic. Nobody has done an experimental study on this topic. Imagine you are collecting 100 reviews. In the 100 reviews, no one has, not even a single research is available using experimental study. What does it mean? It means that topic, for that topic, the experimental design or method or experimental research is unfit or not suitable. Therefore, they have omitted. So using that wisdom, you also should avoid. So to know what type of research would you like to employ, you should have the idea of the method employed by the previous researchers. Okay, good. Then half of a headache for a scholar is over if the tool is finalized. Am I right? Yes, I am right. The most difficult part, both the scholar and the guide struggle, is to complete the tool development work. Tool development is a headache, big headache, for so many reasons. Okay, then here you have three types of tools. Number one, self-constructed tool. Then number two, already existing validated tool. Then number three, adapted or modified tool. So among these three, which tool would you like to go for in your research depends on the review of literature. Imagine no tool is available on the selected variable in all the. So what have you to do? Naturally, you have to construct a new tool, completely a new tool. Imagine on the same sample within the recent time, maybe within 10 years, on the same variable, a tool is available. Along with the tool, key is also available. And it is given permission for using it for educational purposes. So in that case, you need not construct a new tool on your own. So you can borrow. You can borrow that already available tool. Only one condition, you have to acknowledge. You have to write the name of that author and when it was constructed, the year you have to mention, that's all. So, a previous tool is available, you know this fact only by doing review. Then, tool is available, it looks to be okay, but some items are unfit, irrelevant. Imagine, you are conducting a study on the primary school students. A tool on a particular variable is available, but that tool is used in, constructed, validated in America. So if you look at some items may not be fit to our Indian context. So you retain the relevant items and modify, delete, include some other individual statements or items. So it becomes an adapted tool. So you decide the tool only by doing reviews. Then it is a challenging task to write the discussion. They may call it as educational implication, or they may call it as interpretation, whatever it may be. Of course, it cannot be, or it should not be called as a finding. Finding is different. Interpretation is different. Educational implication is different, but all related. Okay. Then writing the discussion part is very highly challenging. Only those who have written the discussion part in its real sense would understand the difficulty in it. What is the difficulty? While you are discussing the finding of your research study, you have to say whose research, whose previous research is supporting, is positively correlating with your finding. Then you have to say how many previous research findings are contrary to your finding. That is real discussion. Then you have to explain why the contradiction. Then you have to say why the positive alignment with your finding. So if there are more contradictions, imagine all those who are weak in, those who have got low marks are better in English speaking. Imagine this is a finding. Once again repeat, all the students who have got very poor marks are good at spoken English. This is the finding that comes to your research. You have not made it, but actually it comes. So here it contradicts the previous research findings. So you have to explain, or you have to give reasons, possible reasons of why the academically poor student sample are good at spoken English in your case only. That is called a discussion. So in this case, it requires further study. Why it requires further study? All the previous studies show only those students who are good at academic are good at spoken English. But your study, though they are very weak in academic, they are very good at spoken English. So naturally it requires further study. This is called a research gap. So further research is needed to authenticate, to establish your finding. Then you have to say how and where to apply. It is also coming under the discussion part. So the discussion part is really important. A good discussion part will have so many a good discussion part. So to do that, you need to have a complete idea, not only idea, in paper, in pen, you should have data of whose study is supporting, whose study is supposed. You must have data. Only then you can discuss. You cannot write stories without in-text references. You cannot write a discussion. You cannot interpret. If you interpret, if you explain that blah blah blah, then these are all stories. So you must give the sources. Why do you say that? For which review is a must. Now look at this picture. All of you look at it 1 minute. Without proper, comprehensive, integral, complete review of related literature, a researcher is handicapped. He needs the support of others. Even if he walks in his research path on his or her own, she is going to fall. She is going to struggle a lot. Why? Methodology is not clear. What type of research? Not selected properly. Tool, when so many previous research good tools are available, without any valid reason, the poor fellow is wasting the time and energy in constructing one more new tool. And finally, it becomes a replica or duplicate of the other tool already existing. So, doing the review of literature properly in the beginning itself. In the beginning itself, I purposely say in the beginning, before starting research, before fixing the topic, before choosing your area, you should complete the research review. Not after choosing the title. No, you are wrong. If you go for review for the first time, after choosing the talk, you will say as usual, no research is available, no review is available for my topic. You go and complain to the ma'am. Madam, I searched everywhere in online and everywhere, but no research is available. Whose fault? Why have you not found out that no research review is not available earlier before choosing this topic? Why have you done that? Why have you not done earlier research review? So it is a handicap. So do the review well in advance. Good. Now, so far we have seen why we have to do research review. Now we are going to this part number 2 or the second part. How to write or how to present the review of literature. It is very important. They are all reasons. They are all justifications for doing the research review. But the real part comes, the working part comes here in part 2. Look at this slide. It is very clear. What is in the middle? What is the term? First. At first, what is in blue color? R or L. At first review of related literature, you have to do it. What have you to do? Number 1, gather, collect. Then second, classify, systematically arrange. You cannot put all the collected reviews in a haphazard manner here and there without proper classification in a basket. So what have you to do? You have to classify, and then in each classification, under each classification, you have to arrange it. This is very important. Between these two, collecting the review and classifying and systematically arranging, which is more difficult? Think for a while. Which is more difficult? Which is easy?
Collecting the research.
Collecting is easy. Collecting is very easy. But classifying, systematically arranging, it takes time. It is just like that. After coming from college, you can throw your bag, books, all your things, throw here and there in the house, that is easy. But keeping it in its proper place is difficult. But if you are throwing here and there, when you go for the college next day morning, you are in tension. You are not able to find out. You do not know where you have kept it. And before going to the college, you are quarreling with your wife. Take that, this, that, I have kept it here only. Why? There is no proper systematic arrangement. The same will happen in your research. You might have collected so many, maybe 100 or 200 reviews in the beginning. After 2 years, when you are going for the finalization of the chapters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when you are searching, it looks blank. Completely, you have forgotten everything. So, systematically classify and arrange it. Then, writing a review of related literature is a skill. When I say skill, it comes only by practice. It has to be learned. It has to be developed slowly. Under the guidance, you have to develop the skill. It is a skill. It is a pakka skill. All will not do the review of related work so easily. Number 1, you need gathering skill. The scholars come and say easily, I search everywhere, but no research is available. They come casually and say, the guide has to identify, collect, and complete the second chapter and give to that poor fellow. Why? Because he doesn't know to collect. What does it mean? It means there is no gathering skill or collecting skill. Then number 2, storage skill. When we store, we have to store according to the classification. You go to a grocery shop, you go to a mall, maybe Reliance Mall, everything is systematically arranged, section-wise, subsection-wise. The single girl, sales girl, goes exactly and take it. You go to a medical shop, a small shop, so many medicines, but in each cabin, it is systematically kept. The storage is so good, well planned. The sales boy in that medical shop goes and takes you exact medicine. Sometimes I wonder, how is it possible? It is possible only because they have good storage skill. Then number 3, you should have the retrieval skill. When you are writing the thesis in 4th chapter, your mind, your memory should provide, I have seen a research there related to this finding. Your mind should tell. Otherwise, every time you cannot scroll 100 reviews to find out whether that finding is contrary or supportive to the research. Every time you cannot scroll, you cannot find. So whatever you do, it should be kept in memory. To keep it in memory, it should be properly stored. To properly store, you should have that proper collection. So, number 1, number 2, number 3, skills are essential. It is a skill. It is very easy. You will get it provided you learn systematically. Then, from where to gather or collect reviews? Very easy. When you are doing a research, it means basically research articles, research studies. Where do you find the research articles? Only in the research journals. What are the 2 types of research journals available in two media, print medium and online medium. So in the online journals, you have to the online journals, be careful. Most of the online journals provide only abstract. Indian journals allow full article download. Even then, you have to register. Sometimes you have to pay, but goods indexed journals do not allow. They give only the abstract. But what is the issue? If only abstract is available, you do not know, or you cannot access to the extra details available in the article. For example, you want to know the sample, where the sample exactly, who are they? Primary school students or college students, nothing is given in the abstract. So where can you find it? You can find it in the article. Go through page number 2 or 3, there will be there under methodology, that data would be there. But that poor fellow purposely or unknowingly failed to give it in the abstract, may not be available. So prefer full article that is downloadable, because that will give you a better picture. Then in each journal, okay, under issues, there will be 2 headings, current issue and archive issues. In both current and archive, you can search. Then at the end of the article, if the article is downloadable, in each article, under the article, at the end, you can find the heading references. Maybe 10, 20, 50, 30, maybe there. You go to the references and the link is given. DOI link is given there, or URL link is given. Click it. Then go to it. Then read the article. If it is relevant, use it for your second chapter. After downloading, after reading, you find it is not relevant, omit it. Go to the next link. So the references given by the author or authors at the end of the article can be a source of review. Then, other than that, there are open access repositories, e-repositories. What is an e-repository? It is stored in the electronic form. All the articles, thousands and lakhs of articles are stored in the repositories, e-repositories. It is available at free of cost. The government is spending for that. So, or the company is paying for that. So from them, from these OER, you can select the review. So Eric, Google Scholar, Doge, Directory of Open Access Journals, then Semantic Scholar, Shodhganga, these are all open, free sources available. Of course, other lists are there, you can use it. Then, there are professional academic bodies. For example, ResearchGate, then academia. You go to ResearchGate. I tell you, ResearchGate is very good. They don't charge you. Sometimes they may ask the author. Usually, if you ask the author, please send the full article. Within 1 or 2 days, you are getting it. All of them are scholars, professors. They send it at free of cost. Academia is also there, but for academia, they are charging. They are demanding money. But still, in academia, okay, research articles are available. Then, in the thesis and dissertation, what is the difference between thesis and dissertation? At the MA level, we call it as thesis. At the PhD level, we call it as dissertation. That's all. And in the thesis or in the dissertation, at the end, you see a long list of references. So from there also you can choose it. But don't believe too much in the thesis and dissertation. If that fellow has committed a mistake, you are also likely to commit that same mistake, because it is very difficult for you to go to the original source and find out. So be careful, but you can use it, but you judge the merit. Then conference papers, publications, seminar papers are published as special issue. Then you go through that volume. There will be many research articles. Then standalone review papers. What is meant by standalone review paper? It is a review paper completely doing only review of articles. I tell you, which is a wrong wrong way also in a way. 2 or 3 good review papers are enough to select the entire review of review studies for your research work. Because standalone review papers have a lot of reviews on that same topic. They are collected from either one website or 2 websites, that's all. Then they use the policy, inclusion and exclusion policy, and they proceed to write standalone review papers. Okay. Then ProQuest, of course, it is once again it is a repository. For the institutions, it is very easy to access, but for individuals, it is very difficult. So if we have access through institution, ProQuest is a very good source for collecting the review of literature. So from these resources we can collect. Then resources are available in starting from online journal, etc., available. What is the problem? What is the problem here? You have to use the apt keywords in the search engine. Sometimes you type a wrong word and search, only wrong reviews will come. So you need basic English. You need basic common sense to identify or properly identify the correct keyword and type. Only then you will get the review. Sometimes students come to me, sir, I am not able to get the review, sir, please help. Then I ask, what is your topic? Tell me. Then I properly use the keywords. Then so many, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. It comes in so much. When it comes to me in Google or Chrome, why is it not coming for that scholar? Because he is using a wrong keyword or not proper keyword. So use proper keywords. Then after collecting, you cannot include everything in your review. Imagine you are collecting maybe 100 reviews on one variable number 1 in your research. You cannot include all the 100. So what have you to do? You have to omit, filter. Imagine 10 candidates are attending an interview for a single teacher post. So what will the interviewers do? They will reject 9 candidates and select 1 candidate only. Similarly, if you have collected 100 reviews on the topic at the beginning stage, you have to exclude, reject. Finally, you have to select maybe 30 or 40 for a single variable. This process is called filtration. Filter at number 1 level, second level, number 3, finally you choose it. Irrelevant, no data available. Then long back that research is done, throw it. Okay, then for some reason you feel that it is not fit, then filter. So filtration is the second. So what is step number 1 in review collection? Number 1, collect, gather. Then number 2, systematically classify and arrange. Then filter. Then next, this comes how to classify. I said classify. I say systematically arrange. But systematical arranging is very difficult. In the beginning, if you are new to this field, it is still more difficult. Why? You do not know the ways of classifying. So what is the number 1 or the first way to classify? Imagine you have selected 3 variables, V1, V2, V3. Then in each, you have selected 50 variables, 50 research papers. 50 reviews are there. And all the 50 reviews, V1 50 reviews have to be separately classified. V2 variables have to be separately classified. B3 variable, three reviews have to be separately classified. Then, according to methodology, when we say methodology, imagine the PhD scholar next time when you attend a Viva, ask this question. In your research, how many research experimental studies are done on this particular variable? You say you have done review of literature, and fine, you have 75 reviews. Very good. Out of 75, how many are survey? How many are experimental studies? How many are case studies? You ask this question, nobody will say it. If this classification is not there to the candidate, then finally the critical review of later literature cannot be given. Therefore, according to the methodology, arrange, classify. This is number one, first way. Then number two, according to the variables. Usually, all the scholars stop with V1, V2, V3. Variable 1, studies related to emotional intelligence, studies related to learning style, studies related to academic achievement. Over. No. This is not a real review. After review of literature related to V1, V2, V3, you have to give another subheading related to V1 and V2, variable 1 and 2, combining how many studies are done. Then related to variable 2 and 3, how many reviews are available. Then related to the other way, how many are available. Then finally, very important, related to variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, 1 or 2 research is already available. You have to include. Don't cheat. If there is a topic already done on the same 3 variables you are doing, what do? You omit it. This is academic dishonesty. You include it and say how it is different. That becomes the ground for review. You say it is in a way on this particular aspect, it is different from the B1, B2, B3 research done earlier. So classify like this is the second way of doing. Then number 3, third way of classifying. This is based on education system. Imagine your sample is variable 1, etc., of higher secondary students. But in review, because it is a related review of literature, what do? We include the researches done at the primary level, college level, engineering, etc., higher education. So you have to classify how many researches are done at the primary level, how many researches are done at the secondary level, how many are done at the higher secondary, like that you have to classify. So this is according to the educational system. For example, academic achievements of polytechnic students. In the review, not even a single review is available on polytechnic students. Why? Because you have not classified and searched according to this educational system. Of course, in the whole world, in India is a very big country. Somebody would have done on polytechnic students, but you are not able to collect it. You are not collected. Why? You have not systematically classified. If you have classified systematically and then searched it, something would have been available. Then, according to the samples, imagine the teaching competency of chemistry teachers. This is the topic related to X or Y variable. Then, in the review, related to teaching style is there, but nothing is related to specifically teacher's teaching style. Everything is related to learning style of the students. Why? I hope you follow me. When the topic is related to teaching competence or teaching style of teachers, why do you include the reviews related to learning styles of students? You say it is not available. You say it is also remotely, it is relevant because there is a word style, teaching style, learning style. Therefore, I will include. No. If so, you are not committed, you are not sincere. So when you collect itself, you have to classify the collected reviews according to the samples. If teachers are sample, of course you can include the other. Students based studies can be included. Special education based studies research can be included. At least you know how many are related, how many are based on what. So you know it. Only if you know this, you can write the critical review. If you don't, as I am giving number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 classification, you cannot write the review. You can write the review, but you cannot write the critical review. Then, number 5, according to the discipline, according to the subject. Okay, for example, a title. What is that? Learning styles of medical students. And learning styles related to you just type scholarly articles on learning styles. So many articles would come. But among the downloadable articles, how many are related to medical students? How many are related to engineering students? How many are related to B.Ed students, prospective teachers? How many are related to school students? According to the discipline, subject of learning, you classify. What is the wrong? Why are we not doing it? Because we are not doing it, our review of related literature is not critical, but rather it is a summary. That's summary. It is not critical. It is only synthesis, but not critically evaluated. Good. Then, according to the tool dimensions, you have to classify the reviews. Variable number 1, tool. How many tools? If there are 3 variables, 4. One is personal data, the personal data sheet, leave it. Then minimum there will be 3 tools related to 3 variables. And you leave it out. 1-to-1 variable doesn't have dimension. Leave it. 2 tools have 3 dimensions or 5 dimensions. So how many dimensions are there here? 3 plus 5, 8 dimensions are there. So you have to classify the reviews on variable 1 based on the tool number 1. Then you have to classify, you have to categorize the collected reviews related to variable number 2 and give the subheading, the dimension 1, D1, D2, D2, D3, D4, D5. Classify. Imagine for D1 there are 20 reviews. For D2 there are 5. For D3 nothing. No review is available on dimension 3. And the dimension 4 only 1 review is available. Dimension 5, 20. So what have you to do? You have to search once again for dimension 3 and 4 variables. Studies. Okay. Good. Then, according to geography, what do you mean geography? According to locality. Imagine the academic achievement of rural students. That is a topic. So what have you to do? Here, you have to classify on the basis of demographics. You have to basically classify on the basis of geography. So generally, it was done Indian studies, foreign studies. But earlier, it was done. Now it is because of the digitalization and international collaborative research endeavor, we don't insist on the classification. Now, Indian study review studies and foreign review studies, we don't classify. But still, you have it. When you are collecting it, at least for your satisfaction, how many Indian studies are there? Even if you don't include, you know. Nothing wrong in knowing, nothing wrong in classifying. Imagine all studies are only foreign studies. Not even single study is available. Then what are we to do? You have to go search for Indian studies. Then, according to the findings based on research questions or major findings of the study. And in fact, there is a difference between findings based on major hypothesis or major objectives and research questions. Usually, there should be a positive correlation between objectives and hypothesis with research questions. Sometimes it may not be there. So in that case, classifying the findings of your study according to the research questions is a must. At present, we Indians or we Tamil research, educational research is not based on research question. Our research analysis, statistical analysis is based on demographic variables. Gender, male, female. Then rural, urban. Then single family, joint family. Then Hindu, Christian, Muslim. This is not reflected in the research question. It is the other way. So, available research studies should be classified also on the basis of research questions. Then, here comes demographic findings. Demographic findings classify in the beginning itself, because our research is based on number one variable is invariably gender. Gender. In any study, whether it is related to teacher or whether it is related to students or whether it is related to prospective teachers, whoever may be, the first common demography is gender. But you collect a review in which there is no finding related to gender. What would happen? Finally, when you are writing the discussion part, nothing or no research is available to correlate with your finding. Imagine girls are better than the boys. Only if you have collected and classified earlier, then you can say so and so research supports this finding of mine is contradicting my research finding. You can say it. So better, I recommend to classify also on the basis of demographic variables. Then, according to research papers, type of papers, thematic paper is there, research paper, original research paper is there, okay, tool development research paper is there, item analysis based research paper is there, pilot study based research paper is available. Then, complete standalone review study is also available. So, you should also categorize your collected reviews on these categories also. Then, after classifying everything, now I have said 10 ways of classifying the gathered reviews. Now, here comes, look at the slide. What is there? Rows and columns. There is a tabular column. Now, you fit in that you consider very important in this category. Okay, for example, number 10, 9, 7, 8, 6. What you find, what is needed, what is important, you write it. Keep it as a record. Number 1, what should be the first one? Serial number, author, and the year. That should be the first. Then next, title. Then next, etc., etc. This should be this should give the summary of this. In earlier researchers, it was much emphasized, but now people don't insist. But a good researcher and a committed researcher can include the findings of the collected reviews in this tabular column format. It will be very good. Good. Now, I shall ask, is this classifying the gathered or collected reviews, Is it easy or difficult? How many of you say it is very easy? Of course, you said collecting is easy. Do you think that the categorizing or classifying is easy?
Sir, it's very difficult.
Is it necessary?
Sir, it is very necessary to get deep information about the research, but it's very difficult to.
Is it an impossibility?
No.
No, it is possible, but it is an impossible task if you start review collection, then you have to submit the thesis in the last 3 months. A fellow is there, that fellow won't turn up. At the end of the 6th month, he will come. Sir, I was there in America, I was there, etc. Sir, I want to keep the thesis within 3 months, sir. He will say to the researcher, research guide, what can that guide do? You do any nonsense. You leave me. You go away. Finish it off. Then in that case, this classification cannot be done. If the classification cannot be done, what is the law? Now, when to search for review of related literature? When should you do? At 3 levels, at 3 intervals, at 3 stages, you have to collect review of related literature. Number 1, at the beginning, before choosing the topic, before writing the proposal, you have to hunt related literature. Then you have started research. Don't write the first chapter immediately. Don't write the 3rd chapter. No. First, complete chapter number 2. That is, it is a part of this thesis. Next level. First in the beginning, proposal level. Next level, thesis writing chapter 2. Finish it. Then, after data collection, after statistical analysis, you are in the 5th chapter. You have to write the interpretation. You have to write the educational implication. You have to write the conclusion. You have to exactly say what is your major finding and how many findings are supportive already, how many are contrary already. So, what is the research gap? Is there a research gap in your finding? Everything you have to say, for which, once again, you have to go for review of related literature. Imagine, you have started your research in 2021. You are submitting your thesis in 2026. Your thesis should have also reviews done in 2026, even if you are submitting in 2026. You are submitting in June, in January, February, 1st quarter. Reviews are available. 2026. Collect it, include it. So even in the final stage, you have to include it. That is real research. Committed review of related studies work. Then save them in folders. Collect classification. For everything should be in folders properly kept. Manually also you can do it. Okay, variable 1. Then that is folder number 1. You open that. V1, D1. I have that. V1, D1. Another inside folder. Then V1, D2. Another folder. Then V1, D3. Dimension 3. Then another folder. V1, D4. Variable 1. Dimension 4. Another folder. You open V1. Then all the reviews related to dimension 1 is in V1, D1. All the reviews related to dimension 4 of the variable number 1 is in V1, D1 folder name. Manually you can do it. Imagine there is no dimension. Very good. Be happy. Just write V3. Then put all the 30 or 40 related studies put together. Leave it. If you are not able to do it manually, you can use apps. Mendeley is available. Zenodo is available. Some other apps are available. You can use it. Nothing wrong. But better, I suggest manually use it. Very easy. It comes in handy. If you're not an expertise in using Zenodo, Mendeley, etc., you can do it manually.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, V1, D1 means what do you denote, sir?
D1, variable number 1 in your research. Then D1 is dimension in your tool.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Usually at the embedded level, two variables are taken. It is shortly known as V1, V2. Then in dimension means based on the tools. Sometimes dimension may not be there in one tool. Okay, fine. Then in that case, only V1, variable 1 collection. Okay. Then now come back. How to write a critical review? What are the steps to be followed? Now you are very clear. What is number 1? Collection. What is number 2? Filter. What is number 3? Classify, systematically classify. Then what is number 4? Summarize or synthesize. Then what is number 4? Establish the originality. Establish the uniqueness of the study. Uniqueness of the study is a subheading that should be given in the end of the chapter 2. Uniqueness of the study. How can you show the uniqueness of the study? You cannot just write the title alone. No. You have to show the research gap. Only if you show the research gap, the title, given title, uniqueness of the study becomes meaningful. So, I have written in bracket, quote, in text. Then, finally, edit it. Quality check, grammar check, tense check, everything. Be consistent. That itself is a big issue. Maintaining the tense. That is a separate topic. Slime. Okay, good. So, you are aware of the steps. Collect it very easy. Step 2, you are doing. Be happy. Be confident. But step number 3, you are not doing. But you are jumping to step number 4. Step number 5, you write the topic, but nothing is inside. Then with regard to grammar check, I have nothing to comment. Then,
Which tense it has to be there, sir? Review rating.
I beg your pardon, please.
Review rating should be from the beginning to till the end. We have to collect, you said, sir. So finally, at the stage of final, in review rating should be at what tense it must be, sir?
Tense. Okay, you have asked. Okay. Then, usually use simple past. Generally, use simple past. You are very, very safe. I will give the first line. Okay, my name is A. John Lawrence. So last name only should be given in text. Lawrence, 2025. Don't write the topic of my research in the first line. Don't write it. Instead, what should be done? The aim should be stated. Lawrence, 2025, aimed at a study, conduct a study, aiming at dash, dash, dash. That should be the style. The next slide is there. Look, you asked earlier, please now read it. While editing the reviews, when you are writing the review in a small paragraph, what should be done, what should not be done. Number first line, author here with the aim of the study, no title. Do you know what is the reason? If you write the title in quote, it would repeat or it would once again re-say the aim. The aim of the study and the title go together. Therefore, it is better to avoid. Then, second line, it should be about the sample. Okay. Here, second statement should be overloaded. Overloaded with points. About sampling technique you want to say, about sample size you want to say, all in one line. Only one line. Don't write one line for population. Then another line for sample. Then another line for sampling. No. Second line, only one line. Methodology, only one line. Be clear. Methodology, only one line. Then, not I say, APA style says. Then third, major findings. Don't write more than 5 lines in second chapter. If you have to include the major finding, major number, finding number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everything is a major finding for you. 10 findings are there. You think all the 10 are major findings. Then what do? Club them and make it in one sentence or two sentences. An abstract should not exceed 5 lines. I hope all of you listen. An abstract that is given in the thesis chapter number 2 should not exceed 5 lines. If no, remove the recommendation. Usually in the abstract, the recommendation would be included in journal articles. You should not include the recommendation. Then limitation would be given sometimes. You have to exclude. Then check the tense consistency in consistency. Simple past. Okay. Then even in the simple past, be careful. With regard to the finding, you have to use another tense. Revealed, then present tense. That is allowed. Revealed, then past tense. That is allowed. But you fix and be consistent in the usage. Then, very important, collect the data needed for references now itself. Imagine, according to APA style, page number should be included in the references. After collecting, including the finalization, the second chapter, you search for references. No page number, no DOI number, no URL. Sometimes author is not there, then you can put the title. Then year is not there, then you can include, etc. The possibilities are there, but better collect NUB itself in the beginning itself. If you are writing a review, imagine you are including one, for example, on 2025. Don't write the review of 5 lines. No, first write according to the APA style. Finish the reference first. If you are getting it, keeping it. In the beginning itself, you find it, no data is available. Then omit that review. Instead of selecting it and breaking your head, no page number, no DOI number, nothing. But. In the beginning, if the collected data is not available, throw it off. You choose some other. Okay. Now, how to do or present the review of related literature? I said in the beginning itself, review of related literature is done for major 3 reasons. One, for getting the degree, for thesis submission. Then another one is for writing the article. Then another one is for writing the standalone review papers. Here, the style of presenting the review of literature in the thesis is different. One chapter, 30 pages, 40 pages, 50 pages is in thesis. So that format should be different. In journal article, in the introduction, if you give the background of the study, or if you give it as a separate topic, review of related literature in the journal article, it cannot exceed half a page or 1 page. So 30 pages should be condensed to a single page. So in that case, the references should be clubbed. For example, Lawrence, 2025, then Rani, 2020, and make a symbol and, then write one more, then close bracket. That is journal style. Then standalone review article. You are reviewing what others have done. You are not that is your research itself. Major research question itself is, what is the finding of the what is the finding? So for review paper, that is another style. Good. Now, how to achieve it? Is it possible to achieve? எழுத முடியுமா முடியாதா? முடியும். You have to do it alone. You are all professors. You are all learned people. I salute. You are all professors. You are all PhD scholars. You are all aged. You are well matured. So what should you do? You should be able. Do it alone. Make attempt. You will get it. Have a positive thought. Believe in yourself. Have confidence in yourself. Come on. You can do it alone. Then imagine you feel, so it is impossible for me. Still you have that feeling. Then what can you do? Together you do it. We invite one more researcher under the same guide. 3 scholars are doing. All the 3 sit together, finish for number 1 candidate, then finish for number 2 candidate, then finish number 2, 3, third candidate. Together you can do it. Then sometimes your fellow researcher is not coming, or else the fellow researcher is poorer than you. What to do? Meet the expert. Go to an expert. Ask help. That is the third alternative. Then the expert will not do review of related literature for you. What will you do? He will guide. Based on the guidance, what should you do? Number 4, learning, doing. Learning by doing. You have to learn and do it. Don't torture the guide. Don't torture the experts. Sir, what do you do? You write it everything. Sir, you write it for me, sir. No. You get the expertise, get the idea, then you learn and do it. Because you are going to get PhD degree. It is your research. It is your thesis. You should learn and do it. Then, finally, this is very important. In review of literature, this is very important. APS style manual is there. 7th edition has come up. It is already in well practice. You have to follow it strictly. What would happen if you are not properly following the APS style acknowledgement at the end? Softwares, plagiarism software will consider it as a plagiarism. You might have included the author name and year correctly, but it will be for the machine, for the Triniton, it will be a plagiarism. Why? Because you have not given the reference properly. Imagine you are giving a quote, you are beginning a quote, then you are closing the quote. Then after closing the quote, you open bracket, you write the author name, then comma, write the close bracket, you full stop. Is it right? In the reference, in-text reference, sariya tappa. Is this in-text reference right or wrong? Wrong. It will be caught in plagiarism. Why? When you are using the double quote in the beginning and at the end, necessarily by computer program, there should be P dot, page number podano. You have to write the page number. So page number P dot 101, then close bracket. So be aware of the proper in-text citation and end reference citation following the 7th edition APS style manual. So now you can do it. Can you? You have to do it and you can do it. It's time. It's going to be 8. I am supposed to finish it by 8. I have maintained the time. Now you are ready to start doing it properly. I am also ready to wind up. Good design is a skill.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, I have a question.
Please wait. Only 1 minute. 1 minute, please wait. Good art is a talent. Doing is a skill. Writing review of literature is a skill. You can do it because you are able, you are learned, you are a professor, you are the field of higher education. You can do it. Be confident and do it. Good. Now, time for questioning. If you have anything to clarify, me, I am ready to acknowledge with all academic humility. I will be grateful to you. Please ask if I have anything, please.
Sir,
Yes.
so it's really relevant, very clear, and systematically you have explained very well, understood, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, someone asked it out, please.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, myself, Dr. Medhavi Saini. Sir, I find the review the most difficult part of the research, and I have one question related to plagiarism. If someone has already written something related to our research with citation in their research paper, then how will we use it in our paper? Will we use it in references? Will we change the language, or we should try to find original source? What should we do?
I am not getting it properly. As for my understanding, if I have not understood correctly, please tell me once again. Okay, my understanding. If someone else has used your reference, you can reuse it. Nothing wrong, but you acknowledge it. Referencing, giving the reference is to acknowledge. So you acknowledge it is enough. Don't bother whether someone else is X used, Y used, don't bother. X used, Y used, Z, you can also use it. Only condition you have to acknowledge. Academic honesty, that's all.
In that case, how to acknowledge, sir? Our own paper they have used.
Yes, that is called, in your own paper, if you have written, that is called, that you can acknowledge it. In some other journal, article of yours published by you, you are including. You can include, nothing wrong. But that should not be the major part. And that should not be irrelevant. Just for the sake of including, just for the sake of increasing H index, don't include. If it is really relevant, you include. Nothing wrong, it is allowed.
Sir, one more doubt, sir. In our tool we have prepared, means if someone else is asking to use it in their research, if they're asking permission, then what would be the genuine answer from us, sir? Is it allowed to use, or how, what it is?
Better till your viva is over, don't give the tool.
So if we have finished, we have achieved the award already, doctorate, means can we allow?
You must allow. Once it is published, it becomes, your thesis becomes a property of the university. Your tool becomes a property of Government of India. To publish after submission of the thesis, a book, you have to get permission from the university. That is the rule.
So since it is our own book, if someone is asking from us, can we use it? So that means what will our answer would be yes or no. In that way I am asking, sir.
You say, don't copy my thesis, but use only my tool, but acknowledge my tool. That should be your answer.
Okay, sir. So, and then for what purpose you are telling that we should ask from university? In what is the question means we have to ask from university, sir?
After submitting the thesis, if you want to submit the thesis, if you want to publish that thesis in the form of a book, you have to get written permission from the university.
Oh, either book or small in the journal. If we want to publish a part of one research, then can we do it without the permission?
For publishing it in the form of a research paper, you need not get permission.
Okay, okay, sir.
For book publication, for the publication of the entire thesis, you have to get permission. Usually they will give it. If the topic is of controversial. Imagine you have done on Periyar. There is some controversial matter. The government will not give you. I hope you understand.
Oh, Means our own university where we have published, from there we can ask permission.
If you have submitted in MSU, you have to get permission from MSU registrar through the department where you have submitted. If you have completed in TNTU, you have to go through the guide, through registrar, then they will give it.
So if through university means directly from the department and through register, or that also we have to go through guide?
Courtesy sake, go through the guide. If the guide is problematic, you can avoid.
Oh. Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your clear explanation, sir.
Right.
At the end, can we have your phone number, sir, please?
Yes, please. I can say now itself. Nothing wrong. Please take it down if you need. 9443.
1 minute, sir. 9443
614
614
222.
222. 9443614
Yes.
Your name, sir? May I know?
John Lawrence.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Participants, you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask directly. You can also type in the chat box also.
First of all, sir, good evening to all. Thank you for such a wonderful and valuable session. Sir, I have a question. Suppose if we have an authentic tool for a variable with lots of studies in a national level, but it does not have a validity and reliability, then what should be choose by a research scholar in the case where there is no tool other than this kind of tool which has no validity and reliability?
Very good. Usually, sometimes the tool is available, but the reliability is not given, validity is not given.
Yes, sir.
Either you can request, or else you yourself can once again conduct item analysis or pilot study, then find out the reliability. Either using test retest method or split off method, etc. you can find out. Nothing wrong.
But sir, these kind of tools have a problem that they can be used by individually on the sample or by the group of 4 and 6 of group of people sample. Then in that condition, what we will do?
The size of the sample. Say that you don't bother about the size of the sample. You have the tool, okay, yeah. You have the manual, but reliability and validity, etc. is not available. The point value is not available. That is your question, yes. What to do? I say, yes. Conduct pilot study once again, conduct reliability test, okay, once again on a small sample and establish it. It is enough. It is allowed.
Sir, I just want clarity that we can use these kind of tool or not. You
can use it. If that is the only tool available that is suitable, yes, for your research, but no reliability is there, reliability is not available, for the single reason, you need not omit that tool. You can include, use it, but you find out the reliability using your own study.
Which is the best thing to do pilot study or test retest or for the reliability? Which one is good?
See, item analysis goes with validity. Then for reliability, you conduct one more test using split off or some other. There are 2-3 methods. Different methods are available. You can use it. Anyone. Both are okay. You consult the guide, and in consultation with the guide, you fix it.
Okay.
Many methods are there for establishing reliability. All are okay. No one is, nothing is superior or inferior. A technique is a technique. You choose any one technique and apply. It is only statistical.
Actually, sir, I have a big confusion about this that we can use or not these kind of, but your clarity saying that we can use with the test retest or pilot study. So it means a lot to me. Thank you so much for this clarity, and I will definitely work on this.
Okay,
Thank
you can use it, but don't include it in the thesis without mentioning the reliability. If you mention that reliability, that should be the reliability of the tool constructor or you. That's all.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Right.
Sir, there is a question from Arun Kumar. The question is it good for publishing the review paper related to our study before submitting the dissertation?
By all means, nothing wrong. You are most welcome. Based on the item analysis, you can publish a paper. Based on tool construction, you can publish a paper. Based on review, you can publish a paper. Okay. Then based on thematic paper, chapter number 1, you can publish a paper. Based on 4th chapter, clubbing, variable 1 and 2, you can publish a paper. Based on findings, based on chapter 4, clubbing 2 and 3, variable findings, you can publish a paper. Nothing wrong.
Hope Arun Kumar has got the answer. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
Anybody, any questions, please post it in the chat box.
Sir, how to avoid plagiarism while writing review?
Plagiarism. Softwares are available. Softwares are available. Free software is also available, but the quantity would be very less. If you have a major portion, maybe 30 pages, 50 pages, 100 pages, better you use a version, you purchase it. Plagiarism software. You contact through your guide, they will help you. You get a letter from your guide and go to the university, research director or department head. They will honor you and they will give permission, and you have to meet that librarian or that operator, and they will do it. People are generous because it is government sponsored, UGC sponsored. Only thing you have to go through is honored everywhere in all the research universities and universities. Yes, please. Madhavi Saini.
Sir, the same chapters are again and again, if we put in the plagiarism software, then that same thing remains again the plagiarism, no, sir?
I suggest don't test plagiarism before submitting the thesis.
Okay, sir. If second chapter, if we
don't.
Okay, sir.
I suggest don't.
At the end, if we check, that's enough, is it, sir?
At the end, if you check, it is enough. Whatever may be the best of the best writing, it will show plagiarism. There are so many reasons for it. Even if you write 100% original, it will show as plagiarism. There are technical reasons for it. So it is solvable, and it is solvable by the university librarian or the operator of that software. They will solve it. Don't worry. It is allowed. Technical issues are there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, please.
Participants, any other questions?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, my question is very minute question that what is the minimum number of review is to be done before publishing any article or before thesis writing or dissertation writing? Is there any minimum number, or to what extent we can do this?
No, there is no minimum number or maximum number in the review of literature. It all depends on you, okay, and the guide. And here one point should be considered. What is the total number of pages that is expected, including all the 5 chapters? It differs from university to university. What is expected? Tell me, what should be the total number of pages? in the thesis?
Total number of pages. Sorry, sir, I don't exactly know what is the.
Okay, usually 200 to 250.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so now you divide it into 5 chapters. Divided by 5. Divided by 5. So if 200 pages, it comes around 40 pages. 40 pages. But can you have 40 pages for chapter 5? Can you have 40 pages for chapter 3? No. No, not possible. So what should you do? You increase the volume in chapter 2. So that on the whole, you fulfill the expectation of the university. So chapter 2 could be for 60 pages or 70 pages. 60 pages. 50 to 60 pages. I hope I am giving an explanation that is based on a reason. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It is easy to increase the pages in chapter 2. It is very difficult to increase pages in chapter 1. And chapter 5 you cannot increase. Very complex. Presenting the finding and discussion, IMRED, introduction methodology, then findings are very difficult.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, the reference and the bibliography in these parts, the page number is not added, is it, sir?
The days of using the term bibliography is over. Nobody is using the term bibliography. The bibliography can be used only for books. The term biblia means book. If you are writing a book, use the book, bibliography. If you are writing a thesis, if you are writing a research paper, use the term references. Before 10 years, now we are all advanced. After the introduction of compulsion to publish in Scopus, then what is that? CARE listed journal, peer-reviewed journal. Now we are advanced. Even I am also reviewer one of the Scopus journal, Scopus Index journal. One was a CARE listed journal. I simply reject, not reject. I'll show how to write the references according to APA for 1, 2, 3, 4 references and say modify. And I give the comment, accept after the modification. They ask minor, major, etc. Now nobody is using the term bibliography. Use only the term references. In text, then use the term in-text reference. Then finally, you just use the term references. But different styles are there. APA style is there. MLA style is there. So many styles are there according to branch of education, branch of study. Use it. Psychology, education, use APA style. Nursing. APA is very safe, widely accepted. For arts, you use APA style.
Sir,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Shall we wind up?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful and informative session. Your expertise has truly enriched our understanding of this review of literature. Now I call Dr. Mrs. Annapurni, Assistant Professor of Tamil, to propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
இணையத்தால் இணைந்த இனிய உறவுகளுக்கு இனிய வணக்கம். இணைய வழி கருத்தரங்கில் பங்கேற்க இசைந்து சார்பிலக்கியம் குறித்து புதிய கண்ணோட்டத்தை எமக்கு ஏற்படுத்தினீர்கள். ஆராய்ச்சி நெறிமுறைகளை தேர்ந்தெடுக்கவும், ஆய்வு கருவிகளை தயாரிக்கவும், ஆய்வு முடிவுகளை வலு சேர்க்கும் துணை ஆதாரமாக விளங்கும் இந்த சார்பிலக்கியம் குறித்த பல சந்தேகங்கள் இன்றைக்கு உங்களால் எங்களுக்கு தீர்க்க பெற்றன. உங்களுக்கு மிக்க நன்றி. ஒரு உரையானது 10 அழகை பெற்றிருக்க வேண்டும் என்று நன்னூலார் கூறுவார். சுருங்க சொல்லல், விளங்க வைத்தல், நவின்றோர்க்கு இனிமை, நன்மொழி புணர்த்தல், ஓசை உடைமை, ஆழமுடைத்தாதல், முறையின் வைப்பே, உலகம் மலையாமை, விழுமியது பயத்தல், விளக்கு உதாரணத்தல் ஆகுதல் போன்றவை இந்த 10 அழகுகள். இந்த 10 அழகினையும் தம் உரையிலே வைத்து தெளிந்த நீரோடை போல தம்முடைய கருத்துக்களை எடுத்துரைத்த பாளையங்கோட்டை புனித சேவியர் கல்வியியல் கல்லூரியின் இணை பேராசிரியர் முனைவர் ஆர். ஜான் லாரன்ஸ் ஐயா அவர்களுக்கு மீண்டும் எங்களுடைய நன்றியை உரித்தாக்குகின்றோம். நன்றி ஐயா. அஞ்சாமை, ஈகை, அறிவு, ஊக்கம் இந்நான்கும் எஞ்சாமே வேந்தற்கு இயல்பு என்று தலைமைக்கு இலக்கணம் கூறுகிறது திருக்குறள். இந்த தலைமைக்கு எல்லாம் இலக்கணமாய் விளங்குபவர் எம்முடைய கல்லூரி செயலர் அவர்கள். இந்த இணையவழி கருத்தரங்கம் சிறப்பாக நடைபெற பல்வேறு வகையிலும் எமக்கு வழிகாட்டுதல்கள் வழங்கிய எம் கல்லூரி செயலர் அருட்சகோதரி முனைவர் ரூபி அலங்கார மேரி அவர்களுக்கு நெஞ்சார்ந்த நன்றியை உரித்தாக்குகின்றோம். எப்போதும் ஆராய்ச்சியிலே நாட்டம் உடையவராய், புது புது தேடல்களில் ஆர்வம் கொண்டவராய், கல்லூரியின் வளர்ச்சியிலே சிந்தனை செலுத்துபவராய் திகழ்பவர் எம் கல்லூரியின் பொறுப்பு முதல்வர் முனைவர் ஆல்மா ஜூலியட் பமீலா அவர்கள். அவர்களுக்கும் இந்நேரத்தில் எம்முடைய நன்றியை உரித்தாக்குகின்றோம். கல்லூரியின் உள்தர உறுதி பிரிவு ஆய்வுக்குழு உறுப்பினர்களுக்கும் கருத்தரங்க ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர்களுக்கும் எமது மனமார்ந்த நன்றி. கற்றணைத்து ஊறும் அறிவு என்பதற்கு ஏற்ப இந்த கருத்தரங்கிலே பங்கேற்ற பேராசிரியர் பெருமக்களுக்கும் ஆராய்ச்சி மாணவர்களுக்கும் மனமார்ந்த நன்றி. மீண்டும் அனைவருக்கும் மனமார்ந்த நன்றியை கூறி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி.
Thank you, ma'am. As we come to the end of day 2 of the RISE 2025 webinar series, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow with yet another exciting topic and expert speaker. Until then, stay inspired, stay curious, and keep striving for excellence in research. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alma, for giving me the chance, and thank you. Thanks to the management, and especially to the what of thanks. It is said in not good Tamil, but Thuya Tamil. Without mixing not even a single word, using apt words. Good.
Nandri, sir. Nandri.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annapurni. Sir, thank you very much for your, we know how difficult it is to prepare for an, as a resource person, prepare the PowerPoint for the online, etc. I know the struggle behind you preparing everything. So thank you so much for offering your resources to the research scholars as well as the faculty members. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Goodbye. You are most welcome. Do well. It is very easy. Only thing you have to be systematic at the beginning itself. Otherwise, it is very easy. No difficulty. And it is the easiest part. It is only technical.
So thank you very much.
Good. Thank you. Bye. See you all. Thank you. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, participants. Thank you, faculty members of Stella Matutina College of Education. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sister Paul and Mary. Behind the screen, you were doing the StreamYard also. The YouTube was very much successful. Thank you so much, Sister. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Those who are operating behind the screen for all technical support. Thank you all very much. Thank you.